All right, so I'm going to walk you guys through a couple of the problems from the extra practice, the review for the quiz tomorrow, which is a group quiz. Remember, you work with 3 or 4 people, and it'll be worth about 20, 25 points. So this first section, all you had to do was go backwards. So you're starting with the trig identity, and you simply have to figure out which one it is by looking at the given identity. So here you see you have cosine and cosine minus sine and sine. So right away that should give it away that it is a cosine identity. And then you just have to figure out if it's a sum or difference. So we know we have 66 and 19. So the question now is it a sum or difference? Remember the sign changes for cosine, so that means it's going to be a sum. So you're going to end up with cosine of 66 plus 19, which is 85. So that's all you have to do for those, and that would be your answer. And it's the same for the other four in that section. So again, here you have sine, this is a tangent, and another cosine. Looks like another sine and a tangent. So next we actually want to go through and find the angles that we're missing given specific values. So it looks like we're given sine 24, sine 61, cosine 24. Let me go ahead and take a picture of this so you guys, so we can see right on here. Alright, so to get 75, all we have to do is add the sine of 61 plus 24. So remember, with this, we always have to do the sum and difference. So we're just going to plug that into our sum and difference formula. So we get sine 61 cosine 24 plus cosine 61 sine 24. And those values are given to us right here. So all we have to do is plug in those decimals. So we'd have 0.875 times cosine 24.914, and then we add that to cosine 61.485 times sine 24, which is 0.407. And then from here, all you would have to do is multiply, and then you have your answer. So you multiply these two and add it to these two multiplied together. So that's all you have to do for that section. It's pretty simple there. All right, now I believe we get into the last section, which is similar to what we did on last night's homework. So here, again, we need to think of two angles that we know the reference angles for that will add up to 285. So I know that 225 plus 60 will add up to 85. You could also do 315 minus 30 if you wanted. 315 minus 30 would work as well. And again, I just know these are the reference angles in quadrant 3 and 4. And if you don't know that, you can do 285 and then either add or subtract 30, 45, and 60. So you see if you subtracted 60, you would get 225. So you know 225 plus 60 will work. So once you're here, it's really just plugging into the formula. So you'd get cosine of 225 plus 60. So we plug it in, cosine 225, cosine 60, minus, because the sign changes, sine 225, sine 60. So the last thing you have to really be careful with is what quadrant that 225 is in. So we have 0, 90, 180, 225 is going to be right here. To find that reference angle, you know this is 180, and you know this is 225. So you just do 225 minus 180, and you get 45. So 45 is going to be our reference angle. That's what you're referring to in your chart. And then you have to check your sign. So we have all students take calculus. So tangent's the only one that's positive in the third quadrant. So I know this is going to be negative root 2 over 2 times cosine 60, which is positive 1/2, minus sine 225, which will also be negative because it's in the third quadrant. So root 2 over 2, sine 60, root 3 over 2. So your final answer is going to be negative root 2 plus root 6 over 4. And that's how you do those problems. They're all pretty much the same as long as you know what those angles are to use. I'll just, this one didn't work for you, but say if you had cosine of 23 pi over 12, to solve for that, you would just multiply 23 pi over 12 times 180 over pi. And what this is going to do is it's going to give you the angle in degrees. So that's going to end up being 345 degrees, which you already saw before. I believe that's correct. So, and you could just solve now for the cosine of 345, which is very similar to the one we just did. Alright, so if you have any other questions, you can come and see me tomorrow. But other than that, I think this should be a pretty good start. Good luck with studying.